So now we move on to Bombur the dwarf, and I really like this figure. I mean, I like all of them, but I like Bombur because he's the one who falls asleep in the novel when they're going through the dark forest, and he drinks the water from the river and falls asleep. So they have to carry him for quite a way, and of course it would happen to the fattest one of them all, which means it's a bit awkward. I mean, the Hobbit is a funny book, isn't it? I mean, it's a kid's book, but I still get enjoyment from it. I was forced to read it when I was about 14 or 15 at school, and that could very nearly have put me off, because when you're made to read things, you do get put off, but when you choose to read something, then it's much more enjoyable because you've made that active choice to do so. So yeah, getting back to the subject, I do like Bombur. He's a funny little character, and everybody's very fond of him. So I've skipped through painting the flesh. So as usual, I've done that with the flesh pink with a thin red wash to bring out the detail. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to touch these things up again as well. I will be touching up highlights on the face and hands, and the ladle and the cleaver I've done as usual with a black undercoat and then dry brushed with silver, and I've left them quite dark. I mean, you can dry brush them a lot more to make them brighter. May do that on the cleaver, because the cleaver really should be a bit brighter because it's steel. I mean, this looks more like iron because it's dark, but at that angle you get a nice gleam along the edge. That's something I should do a bit more actually, is just run some pure unadulterated silver along the edges of these things. What I'm usually doing is just dry brushing and it picks out the edges. So there you go, this is the starting point for Bombur the dwarf. So I'm now going to do the pants and the boots. I just replayed that first snippet, and I'm calling it the Dark Forest. This is of course Mirkwood. What is wrong with me? So the trousers or pants I've done in basalt grey, which is, when I can find it, oh, dark grey, sorry, dark grey. So that's this one, dark grey, which they call Gris Obscuro. Gris Obscuro, number 994. It's like a very, well, it's black, basically, with a bit of white in it. So you could very easily just do black with a bit of white in it. But of course these manufacturers want to sell all these things by just selling different shades of the same flipping colour. So it's I did quite a thin application of that, which means you can see it's sort of run into the areas. It's a bit shiny at the moment because it's still wet. So what I'm next going to do, oh yes, and I also did the gloves in there. I also forgot to say in the last snippet that Bombur is like a very angry chef, because that's his job. He's the chef in The Hobbit, and that's probably why he's such a rather large person, because he gets to taste the food, prepare the food, and probably sneaks a few little mouthfuls in before the rest of them get there. But if the Hobbits want to give him that job, they give him that job. So the next thing to do is basalt grey, the old favourite trusty basalt grey, where I'm going to do some highlights on the trousers and the gloves. Oh, and also, when I've done the face, I've sort of run over onto some of the clothing and the beard, so I'm going to go around all the bits on here, if not most of the figure actually, in white, a craft white, because I'm going to be putting some green on the arms, and I find that if you're doing lighter colours on things, it's better to start with a white base than a grey or a black one. So the next time you see this, he will probably be white. Now I'm very happy with this effect on the jacket or coat, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the same flat earth, but I've added a little bit of white to it because I just want to pick out the highlights on it. So I'm going to do a bit dry brushing in it now, so let's see how it goes. So I've gone round, just get the brush out. So I've used a small brush to do this dry brushing, and I've concentrated on the raised parts like here and the bottom of the jacket coat here, just to bring out the raised surfaces and the edges, and quite happy with the result really. Been all round it, so it really is looking quite good now, particularly the coat, which is what I've been concentrating on. So I shall move on to the hair and the boots, which are done the same colour. I want the boots to be a different shade to the hair and the beard. I've got a few little bits to touch up with the orange brown there. So I shall now get on to that. I've still got to put some highlight on the brows, the cheeks and the nose and the chin. What I've done now is my favourite colour, raw umber wash on the plaited beard, the hair and the boots, and again on the jacket. I mean the jacket I could leave it like that, or I could do another highlight on it, another sort of dry brush highlight. Sorely tempted. I don't want to over egg this, but you can spend a lot of time on these figures, just improving and improving and experimenting and improving. So I'll do a few more little bits on there and see how we go. But time is limited. I've got to get these done by the 12th of December. So I shall crack on.